I have been talking about XDC for a while, but I do believe that this is a video that if you hold XDC, you should stick around until the end. Why? Because we are going to go over substantial information that is going to prove just how massive XDC really is and why it is one of the most overlooked gems in this space. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. And also, if you guys are not already in that free Discord, you guys need to join it now. There's going to be a link down in the description below to join the free Discord. It is the #1 crypto Discord out there. I put everything on that. There is a ton of free information in there that could help you achieve financial freedom in crypto. So what are you guys waiting for? Definitely go join the free Discord. Now, with that being said, let's talk about a few things. So, #1, everyone is so concerned about price action right now in this space. This is what the 1 year looks like for XDC. This is what XDC looks like going back to about roughly 2022 when most of the market did bottom out. This is where we have the bottom for XDC, and XDC is right now trading currently around those levels yet again, and everyone is getting so frustrated, so mad, so angry about it. And I just look at this and I'm like, this is an opportunity in the grand scheme of things. Yes, altcoins right now are not doing good. In fact, altcoins suck. And why is that? Well, because it is not the altcoin cycle of this space yet. Believe it or not, we've actually never even witnessed alt season yet this cycle. So as everyone is getting frustrated, it is typical behavior before alt season. Go back to 2020, go back to 2017, 2018. If you go and look through X at the altcoin sentiment, which you could search up, you'll see that a lot of people were extremely bearish on altcoins right before they absolutely exploded. And I do believe that this is the same exact thing that we are seeing now, waiting on the sidelines, just waiting for these altcoins to blow up and shock everyone that is so bearish on altcoins. But XDC is definitely a special altcoin in my opinion because how overlooked it is. First and foremost, let's talk about the fact that we are now starting to see it being listed as an RWA altcoin. And this is great to see because for the longest time, I'm sure that you guys are probably aware, XDC was being hidden on a lot of these major lists regarding RWA. We have here from Crypto Differ, top 15 RWA or real world assets coins by market capitalization. RWA in crypto refers to tokenizing tangible assets, which I'm sure that you guys are all aware of. Here we have those coins, XDC being one of them now. Love to see that. I think that this is great, and we will continue to start to see XDC being realized in. People will start to realize how big of an altcoin it actually is and how bullish it really is in terms of fundamentals. I think that that's starting to kind of become a reality now. But it is still very well in its early stages. I think very soon it will be too big for everyone to ignore. Now, one of the reasons for that is not only just the fact that it is now being listed on a lot of these lists regarding RWA capitalization or anything like that, but it's also the expansions, the moves being made. More recently, I've been talking about how there's a lot of these integrations happening around XDC, and they just continue to add more and more and more. And I love to see this because the ecosystem itself is growing around XDC, which was 100% needed. It was one thing that I always had a problem with when it really kind of came to the XDC growth and expansion side. Retail is a big driver of success right now in the space, as we do really kind of wait for clarity for the institutions to really kind of jump in and even the governments. But so far, XDC has been expanding rapidly in the last couple weeks, which I love to see. Now, one thing, talking about governments, talking about, institutionalization, enterprises, things like that, XDC is not shy to this. More recently, if we take a quick look at this, on August 19th, we got a big announcement regarding Serpro partnering with XDC. XDC Network has partnered with Serpro, Brazilian federal government's tech company, to enhance security and reliability in digital transactions. This strategic move integrates Brazilian government data into blockchain, boosting accuracy and security. This is a huge update and a massive announcement. The agreement enables the verification of KYC and KYB, AML, and also the authentication of biometric data through blockchain technology. this is a game changer, and it just proves how big XDC really is behind the curtain. A lot of people are just afraid to look beyond that curtain, but once you do, it's undeniable on how big XDC will become. We have here that announced on the 19th a partnership with XDC Network to implement a new security solutions involving digital asset transactions in Brazil using blockchain technology was announced. The agreement foresees the integration of official data verification solutions from the Brazilian government into the XDC network, a layer 1 blockchain compatible with EVM and carbon neutral. And yeah, I think that this is going to be a game changer. We have a few quotes down here that I do want to go over. Number one is the collaboration with Serpro is more than a strategic alliance. It is an opportunity to increase trust in digital transactions in one of the most dynamic markets in the world. And we also have down here, by integrating official government data into our ecosystem, we are empowering Brazilian and international companies to operate securely and transparently in Brazil, a crucial step towards sustainable growth and continued innovation in the country's digital asset ecosystem. And also, by the way, we have down here that the partnership with Serpro reinforces XDC Network's presence in Brazil. As recently reported by Cointelegraph Brazil, the network serves as the basis for a pilot project to issue RWA tokens aimed at the international market of Mercado Bitcoin. This is a very big deal around RWA tokenization. Very excited about this massive announcement. And also, it builds upon already the government adoption of XDC. And what am I talking about? Well, let's go over here. So the Web3 Alert, which is my media company, we put out a full breakdown of the government adoption of XDC. Now, I'm not going to go and read all of this because it is a substantial thread. But if we look at some of the governments outside of just Brazil, we have Abu Dhabi, Singapore, Australia, and even the UK. Now, to really kind of break this down, let's talk about a few ways that governments are utilizing or even working with XDC. So let's actually start with Abu Dhabi. Now, it actually goes back to 2018, where we saw Xinfin become the official participant of Abu Dhabi's global market sandbox to live test TradeFinix platform. And more recently, back in 2021, we actually have from the ADGM, world's first digital trade financing pilot between MLETR harmonized jurisdictions. This was a very big deal, and I'm sure that you guys are probably already aware of how big XDC is in terms of trade finance. Now, this was actually with Trade Trust, and this is a big name around trade finance, digitalization, and even tokenization, which we've mentioned multiple times on the channel. But it builds upon the fact that XDC has been tapped in with Abu Dhabi, and we know that trade finance is one of the first markets to really kind of be digitalized, and XDC is perfectly fit for that. But down here we have a breakdown of how Abu Dhabi is utilizing XDC, or how the partnership really kind of is connected. We have this is due to the fact that prior to official launch, the network had tested for regulatory compliance alongside TradeFinix in Abu Dhabi Global Markets Sandbox. These were handpicked participants by the ADGM to test against real-world SME cases of trade finance. This was the perfect launchpad for XDC Network. And yes, as we really kind of look at this, XDC is very specific for trade finance. In fact, it's been a giant around trade finance digitalization, which is why I do bring up the fact that, yes, back in 2021, the ADGM did announce the world's first digital trade financing pilot between MLETR harmonized jurisdictions, which is a game changer. And it does tie back to XDC, considering how big they are within trade finance digitalization. But also, we have Singapore. Now, Singapore is regarding this announcement back in 2023. XDC Network has partnered with the Infocom Media Development Authority, Singapore, by completing their integration with Trade Trust Digital Utility. There you guys have it. If we go back over here, here you have Trade Trust Digital Utility can facilitate the digitalization of trade finance processes. This is all with XDC. Like, XDC is tied to all of this. It's a very big deal. Now, let's go back to this post. Around this time last year, Singapore's Infocom Media Development Authority partnered with XDC. The focus of this partnership was centered around integration with Singapore's digital platform Trade Trust. This would be focused around enabling ease of use of MLETR compliant trading thanks to XDC's applications. Additionally, this brings all the other blockchain benefits to trade trust, such as immutability and recording of data on an immutable ledger. We've seen few government collaborations, but arguably even fewer of this scale. This isn't a typical partner where cryptos partner with a government to bring innovative solutions to the region. Rather, this is a direct integration into government infrastructure for the future of trade. Yes, and it does expand, even going all the way back here to 2021, to a lot of these original partnerships that Xinfin does have as well. Not to even mention the potential exposure that this does have for XDC as well, beyond just Singapore and even the ADGM. Now, we also have Australia. So this one isn't through a specific partnership or sandbox like we saw with ADGM. We've seen XDC be a prime sponsor of Blockchain Australia, a key blockchain event for the nation. During day 4, the focus was on the international landscape, which saw XDC CEO speaking to address crucial subjects around using DLT for trade. Beyond this, we've also seen Australia align themselves on MLETR and are in stage 3 of MLETR adoption, being stakeholder consultation focused. Additionally, Australia is party to the Singapore Australia, is part to the Singapore Australia Digital Economy Agreement as well. Now, yes, these announcements, these big moves are very exciting stuff. Now, also here we have the agreement itself, which is the parties recognize the importance of developing mechanisms to facilitate the use of electronic transferable records. And as we know from our previous point, Singapore has already partnered with XDC to accelerate MLETR compliant trading. And yes, it's all based around trade finance digitalization. Trade finance is the key here. Now, also the United Kingdom. The adoption of XDC and MLETR within the UK is growing in both the public and private sector. First off, we saw a documentation by XDC submitted to the UK Parliament reach the written evidence. While this was simply just a proposal with evidence of utility, this marked a significant step. Fast forward to 9 months later to September 2023, we see the Lloyds Bank, one of the world's biggest banks in the UK, had not only invested in Anigio digitalizes documents onto the XDC network, but also utilizes it for the first ever digital trade that was compliant under the UK's new Electronic Trade Documents Act, EDTA, and EBL. Earlier this year, in quarter 2, we also saw the solution that Anigio and Lloyds also included Cargo X and resulted in them winning ICC's Best Use of Interoperable Tech award. Each of these advancements have been significant, yet there's much more to general adoption of XDC. For example, China and Japan have also both shown their respective ties to the ecosystem via the likes of SBI Holdings and also China Systems. Now, at the end of the day, right, like all of this is very important to note because as we look at XDC, it is the prime example of why you need to focus beyond just price action. Because if I was just looking at price action, I would say XDC is garbage. Just like a lot of altcoins. In fact, most altcoins right now. But we are not in a utility market. We're not in a market that is taking fundamentals into accountability. It's taking hype and speculation, or how high can this actually go in the short term. Guys, XDC, as we start to move towards a digital trade-based world, XDC is going to be an absolute giant that is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars. And the reason why I say this is because of the utility that it provides for the trade finance industry. Not only that, but there's a lot more going on behind XDC than just trade finance itself. I'm very excited for the future because we're now starting to see the big winners like XDC being handpicked by governments, by enterprises, and even by institutions and banks. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.